What's going on, everybody? This is Tamaya Robles. I'm your credit expert. I'm the owner of Fix My Credit Now, 850.com. I am the host of my podcast, Coast to Coast Credit. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, what I'm doing today is I am doing a YouTube and a podcast episode at the same time. Don't worry. If you're listening and you're streaming, it is just you're going to be able to hear everything I'm showing on YouTube. And if you want to check out my YouTube episode, if you want to see the visual aspect of this episode, you can definitely do so. But real quick, today, I felt a need to share with you guys what is going on with student loan payments. I'm getting old customers. I'm getting customers that didn't want to pay before. Now they're coming to me because they need this off their credit report. It may have happened to you. You might have noticed that your monthly payments for your loans have gone up. Things going on with your IDR, or trying to apply for IDR, which is income driven repayment plan. So I wanted to share with you guys some proof. Like I said, I like to show y'all proof. We can talk about it. And then we're going to go from here. But I want to show you a couple of videos so you guys can see this is really happening out in these streets. So let's go check it out.
There's an overwhelming sense of uncertainty looming over Hannah Contreras' future.
This has made a permanent lump in my throat.
Her monthly federal student loan payments skyrocketing.
My student loan payment has gone up $905
every month. While it might sound like something a loan shark would do, doubling or tripling payments without notice, it's actually because of a dramatic change at the Department of Education. Not from staffing cuts, not even DOGE, but a broad interpretation of a court order. Some student loan repayment plans based on income are suddenly halted, affecting 13 million borrowers, according to the National Consumer Law Center. It's all in response to ongoing litigation over what the Biden administration called the Saving on a Valuable Education, or SAVE plan, where monthly payments are based on income and family size, an attractive option for millions of graduates just getting started.
Borrowers who've made the required number of payments in the SAVE plan would normally be eligible to have their remaining balance canceled.
Last year, several conservative-leaning states challenged the plan, saying it would require spending up to $475 billion not authorized by Congress. And a recent temporary order by the Eighth Circuit Court in Missouri broadened the scope of the case to some other income-based plans too.
In response to the court order, the Department of Education, without any explanation, simply pulled down all of the applications for the income-driven repayment plans.
We reached out to the Department of Education for comment, but have yet to hear back. On the website, it says applications are temporarily unavailable due to the court's injunction. Consumer law experts like Abby Safroth say the DOE is going further than it needs to.
It could keep allowing borrowers to apply for and to stay in the other plans.
Now Contreras, with her monthly payments soaring and no increase in salary, is trying to figure out what's next.
I did everything I was supposed to so that I could be in the desk I'm in right now. And yet I may have been better off doing something different.
She's a mother of two with a master's degree. Today, she's working as a therapist in a community mental health clinic in Oregon. She says it's important work, but it doesn't come with a large paycheck.
I can pay the loans. I never said I couldn't pay them. I just said I need to be able to do it in the ways we were told when we were 18 that we would be able to.
Contreras and many more looking for clarity as their options seem narrower than ever.
Rahema Ellis is joining us now. So, Rahema, what are the options now for borrowers like Contreras?
Well, they're not great for many people, but we should say those who are under the Biden era income plan, they already have an option, and that is that their payments have been paused since last year with no interest accruing, and that's a result of the lawsuit that we talked about earlier. But those borrowers who are part of some other options, payment plans, well, they can also have their payments paused. But Hallie, here's the rub. The interest continues to accrue month after month after month. So that means that they're going to owe a lot more money at the end of all of this when they finally do make a payment. And you have to ask yourself, people have to ask themselves, what are they going to do? Do they find the money from somewhere, dig deep to find the money to make the payments now and to make so the interest stays reasonable, if you will? or to pause the payments, those interest payments go up and they're going to have to deal with a much bigger bill down the road. Hallie?
Rahema Ellis, thank you very much for that reporting.
Okay, so yeah, hopefully you guys heard that. And it's pretty interesting. I'm going to show you another video, but before I do so, when it came to the second woman's solution to the problem, dig deep, or possibly, pause if you can your payments. It's going to accrue interest though, and then at some point you're going to have to pay it. I would just suggest at this time, go ahead. If you can pause your payments, go ahead and pause it. Worry about the interest later, because again, a lot of things are changing within the system right now with this new administration in office, and you don't know what the end result is going to be. Luckily, we do have states and judges challenging these changes, so it may benefit us as the consumer in the end. You don't know how it's going to go, but if you don't have it right now and you can't afford it, or whatever your situation is, or you want to pause it, if you have that option, go ahead and pause it and worry about interest later. But that's just my personal opinion. But definitely do what you feel is best for you and your family. Now I'm going to show you we're going to hear another video on the same thing. So I will put the links in the description, but this is where a federal judge pauses all student loan income driven repayment plan options. It's the same information for the most part. But yeah, I just wanted to show more than one source of information.
Okay, Franklin, thank you. And tonight we're learning more about a pause on income-driven student loan repayment options after a federal judge expands an injunction against the Department of Education.
That move is now taking away borrowers' options to make lower payments on their student loans. Chantel Davis is live after speaking with experts on this. And Chantel, are there other ways borrowers can save?
At this time right now, Kurt and Riley, the answer is no. That expanded pause is not only impacting the SAVE plan, but all 4 of the income-driven repayment options, which means borrowers will not receive any relief. I spoke to some college students today, and they tell me this news is overwhelming.
It almost brought me to tears just thinking about the weight of it on my shoulders. It was a lot.
A federal judge expands an injunction which now impacts the monthly payments for student loan borrowers on income-driven plans.
So this means that for some borrowers who might be looking to change which payment plan they're on, their options currently are relatively limited. And in particular, they're limited to plans that not only will have a higher monthly payment and also that do not correspond to any type of loan forgiveness.
Kate Wood, lending expert at NerdWallet, tells me the federal judge ordered a pause on the SAVE plan last summer. The income-driven plan designed by the Biden administration calculates loan payments based on your income and typically gives borrowers lower monthly payments compared to other IDR plans. However, several states filed a lawsuit in spring of 2024 challenging the SAVE plan, saying the Department of Education does not have the authority to create plans with payments so low or promise loan forgiveness after 25 years. The injunction now expanding to all of the IDR plans. Federal student aid website now putting up this notification from the federal court's order. It blocks anyone from applying to or recertifying for the pay as you earn, the income-based, or the income contingent repayment plans.
It's pretty unfortunate, especially as someone who's taking out loans right now. And yeah, I just want to be able to repay those as soon as I can.
The news overwhelming college students as graduation is around the corner and low repayment options are currently off the table.
You don't have any income. How are you going to pay that back?
With this injunction, Wood says borrowers are only able to choose the standard or graduated repayment option, which does not consider your income, which could mean higher monthly payments.
If you're someone who's in that position of I cannot pay this, then you would be wanting to reach out to your servicer to talk about forbearance or deferment as options.
Now, it's important to know if your loan is under that SAVE plan, it's an automatic forbearance, so there's nothing that you have to do at this time. Right now, there's no word on how long this pause will last. I'm live in Richmond. Chantel Davis, 12 on your side.
In the next
Okay, so yeah. So that is the current situation. These are my thoughts, okay? I actually did a video on this topic when Biden stated that he was going to forgive everybody's student loans, which was a bunch of crap, because I still have people coming to me because Biden didn't forgive not one thing, right? And then when he rolled out the quote unquote save plan, I was explaining to you guys what he had to offer wasn't anything new. If anything, it wasn't really the best option out of all the options that were available under the income driven repayment plan. So that's a thing as well. Now, all of this is coming to surface. It's a problem. Not like it was a problem that we were able to foresee, because a lot of these decisions, what's going on right now in March, March 2025, came from the new administration, the Trump administration, not necessarily Biden administration. There's problems with both, okay? Both administrations when it comes to this topic. So with the SAVE program under the Biden administration, the options, if you were trying to get the lowest possible payment arrangement, you couldn't really do that per se. I broke this down in my other video, and I'll link it in the somewhere in the in this YouTube or whatever. And if you're listening on the podcast, I'll just put the link to the YouTube in the description. But it wasn't the best idea. You couldn't make changes to it, and that's what concerned me. You couldn't make changes. Once you chose the SAVE program, you were stuck with the SAVE program, as opposed to the other income-driven repayment options where you could change it as needed. So let's say, for example, when you first signed up for income-driven repayment plan and you were married with no children or no dependents, you would choose a particular income-driven repayment option that fit your needs, and whatever the monthly payment was, it was probably lower than necessary. I'm assuming and I'm saying assuming because there's different ways you could have finagled your monthly payment, okay, based off of how you applied for the loan. But let's say you knew exactly what you're doing, you were following my direction, and let's say your monthly payment was $200 a month, right? You just had to pay $200 a month towards student loans for 20 years. Now, a year later, you guys have a baby. So now you have a dependent. So you would be able to go back to that under IDR and adjust the options. And now that you're claiming dependent, instead of paying $200 a month, now you're paying $100 a month, so on and so forth. Okay, now you're taking care of your in-laws and so on. So you could make adjustments, was my point. You couldn't do that with the SAVE program. Okay, I didn't care for the SAVE program. The SAVE program was just another version of whatever IDR options were already out there, and he just slapped his name on there and I didn't bump with it. Now, as far as what's going on today with this administration, them putting a pause and stopping and so on and so forth, whatever, man. I guess I look at things a little differently, and being the credit expert that I am, I care about what's on my credit report. I mean, clearly there's a lot going on with this government, with this Trump administration. We don't know if we're coming or going. We don't know what's what at all. But one thing I know is I can remove student loans from a credit report. If I had a student loan on my credit report, I'm going to remove it so I have other options while this craziness is going on. Now, does that mean I don't owe the student loan? No, of course it does not. But at least I will be able to move freely with this off of my credit report because my score has risen and all that, right? So there's that. Now, as far as, like I said before, if you have the option to pause, go ahead and pause. We don't know where this is going. We don't know what the end result is. I personally would not care about future interest rates because and the woman was saying, yeah, you're gonna have to really dig deep and pay. We have to do that anyway. we have to do that anyway. I would rather put a pause on things today so it gives me time to figure out what my options are. If there is no federal education system, all right, so be it, then it should push back to the states. So I would go to my state and see what options there are. And I would also go to my loan servicer and see what options there are. Like the woman said, there are options. The problem is we have to take the initiative and figure out what they are. So that, again, that's just my opinion. There was one thing I did want to give you guys a visual of, and let me share that with you real quick. So in case you guys didn't see what they showed on the screen, and then like I said, this episode's also for anyone listening. I'll read it to you. If you do go under studentaid.gov, you will see the information that the woman was showing that was shared. There's two things. The first one, it says planned maintenance. They do this often where, like any website, you can't get on it. You can't get on the website because they're doing maintenance. But under that, it says a federal court issued an injunction preventing the U.S. Department of Education from implementing the savings on a valuable education or SAVE plan and parts of other income-driven repayment plans. As a result, the IDR and online loan consolidation applications are temporarily unavailable. Borrowers can still submit a paper loan consolidation application. Now, I don't know when this was written. I tell you guys all the time, pay attention to the words, pay attention to the words, pay attention to the words, right? Words have meaning, words have power. So first of all, it says here that it says the federal court issued an injunction preventing the U.S. Department of Education from implementing the savings on a valuable education and parts of other income-driven repayment plans. What other parts? Like what other parts? Like that's why I don't have time for them playing games. I can't. It doesn't fare well with me, because if you can say all this and let us know and allow this to happen to, students or past students, wherever, then say what all the parts are. Like, don't hide behind your words. And parts of other income-driven repayment plans, what other parts? Speak it, right? As opposed to having us figure it out. But how they word things is how they get over on us, and you have to be prepared for it. You gotta be freaking prepared, right? So yeah, so there's that. Now, in the meantime, your student loan payments are going to go through the roof. So if you have student loan payments and they're skyrocketing, okay, this is why. And the solution would be, like the woman said, dig deep in your pockets, right? Like, dig deep, or see if you can pause, or contact your local or contact the servicer, okay, directly. That might be MOHELA for some, Navient for some. And for those that have your student loans in collections, please understand that I talk about collections all the time. It means that a third party paid your debt, but it's a little different when you're dealing with student loans. They typically send it to a particular collection agency that deals specifically with student loans. So figure out where your student loan went to as far as collections are concerned. And if you want to take it out of collections, usually you have to make 5 payments on time, and then it will come out of collections and then it will go to the servicer. Okay. Now you're talking to me with that. Again, every single day, it feels like there's something new going on with this Trump administration. Personally, if my student loans were in collections, as long as they're not garnishing my checks or anything like that, I'm going to keep that with them. Okay. I'm going to keep that with them until there is a solution, until there are some sort of results to this situation at hand, because this is major. Especially if times are tight, funds are tight, and that's what it sounds like is. And it's not just them, it's just all of us. Money's different now. It's tight now. So you either gotta figure it out or get creative, right? And then part of that creativity, like I said, if it's not on my credit report, then great. That means I can move freely as much as I can until the Trump administration decides to mess with the credit aspect, which they are trying to do. Okay. And I'll do videos on that. But I would rather get that off my credit report so I can move differently to counter what's going on today. That is just my opinion only. I want to make that abundantly clear for the record. Okay. Hopefully this helped. This gave some sort of insight. Now, I do want to make it clear to you guys, and this is not to be sales pitchy, but this is just to be honest with you. We can get student loans removed off your credit report at fixmycreditnow850.com. I've removed millions of dollars, and that's no exaggeration. I've removed millions of dollars of student loan debt from a credit report. Keep in mind, just because it's not on your credit report, it doesn't mean you don't owe. That goes for anything, student loans, accounts, all of that, right? So, but like I stated, you need the option and you need the ability to move freely, at least on the credit side. You got to be creative with it. So go schedule your free 30-minute consultation at fixmycreditnow850.com. We will need to look at your credit report. So I use Smart Credit. It's in the description. It's only $1.99 for the first 7 days. Okay. Now we look at it, we analyze it, but yeah, for the most part, we can remove. I don't care how high they are. I don't care if it's $1 million. I don't care if it's $10,000. I don't care what the status is. Yes, we can remove student loans from your credit report. So definitely consider that option. All right. Hopefully this helped. Hopefully this gave some sort of insight. A lot of you guys are coming to me a little shocked and appalled that this is what's happening to you. I don't have student loans. I never did. I got my little bit of college education paid for by grants and scholarships. So I'm cool. But I'm not going to be cool soon because I have an 18-year-old that's about to go to college. So, but I know I got 4 years. So I'm sure all this is going to be figured out by then. So in the meantime, what am I going to do? I'm going to be creative, right? And I encourage you guys to do the same. You got to survive. We got to be in survival mode while the government goes through whatever the government's going through. Okay. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, continue to download. Please schedule your free consultation with me at fixmycreditnow850.com. You will get me. You will not get anybody in my staff. You will definitely speak with me. And check out one of my 5 Facebook groups. My main one is Credit and Home Buyers. Wait, was it Credit and First Time Home Buyers Plug, I think is the name. Again, it's in the description. Just check me out on Instagram. I'm mostly on Instagram and Facebook, but yeah, but in the meantime, though, I'll let you guys go. I wish you guys the best of luck.